Here we go. Linda Joy. This is a matter of fairness and equity, and we remain disappointed that Clive Bundy continues to not comply with the same laws that 1,600 public lands ranchers do every year, Corns said. After 20 years and multiple court orders to remove the trespass cattle, Mr. Bundy owes the American taxpayers in excess of $1 million. The BLM will continue to work to resolve the matter administratively and judicially. Very interesting. 16,000 Americans. Donna in Albuquerque. Hey, Donna.
Hey, how are you, Tom?
I am well. You have some thoughts on this?
Yeah, I sure do. I have a couple of points. I've been watching the live stream on Saturday about this whole thing before it was taken down and then it came back on, that there were 50 other ranchers that were basically went through the same hassle in that same neck of the woods, and that Harry Reid's, one of his head staff guys, is now the head of BLM, and Harry Reid's son, Rory, is a lobbyist for the solar company ENN out of China that wants to build a huge solar farm on this property. And now that just doesn't pass the smell test.
Well, let's assume that that's all true. Mm-hmm. What does that have to do with this guy not paying for his, he's fattening his cattle on your and my nickel since 1993 and refusing to pay for it. And that was long before Harry Reid's son was anything or any solar company even existed in China.
Well, this has been going on for quite some time.
That's what I just said. This has been going on since 1993.
And he claims that they're not representing him, and that money that he's been paying them should go back into developing the land and keeping the water and the fences up and everything.
The BLM's job is not to represent him. The BLM's job is to represent the people of the United States.
Right, and to also help maintain the BLM land, which this guy is claiming that they have done nothing but try and get him off this land.
Right, because they're saying that he has made modifications to the land that are destructive of it. He has put in 2 watering holes in there and screwed up the local ecology pretty badly. And the BLM's position is he's damaging the land.
Well, the BLM's position was also that he was damaging turtles, and then when that didn't fly, when they discovered that the BLM had been killing turtles, well, then it wasn't about the turtles anymore. Then it became...
It's never been about the turtles. It's always been about you pay, 16,000 ranchers in America pay the fee, and it's a very small fee. You're talking $1 an acre, $1.50 an acre. And this guy who is a multimillionaire, and which is not pointed out on Fox News, this guy is a multimillionaire, and he was fine paying the fee when Ronald Reagan was president, when George Bush was president. And as soon as Bill Clinton became president, he decided he wasn't going to pay the fee anymore. And then he goes to court, and I've got the court filing right here in my hand. And he goes to court, the U.S. District Court of Nevada, and he claims that he doesn't have to pay the fee, because the court does not have jurisdiction because public lands in Nevada are not the property of the United States, which is... in other words, which he says is unconstitutional. The Constitution explicitly says that the federal government has the power to administer and determine rules for federal lands. And then his second argument is that the United States ownership of public lands, their ability to sanction him for trespass on public lands, and the Nevada Constitution and Nevada statutes are all illegal. I mean, this guy, this is the sovereign citizen thing. This is the I'm not part of the United States. I don't have to play by the rules. I'm a rich millionaire and I get to set my own rules. This has got nothing to do with solar power. It's got nothing to do with Harry Reid. It's got nothing to do with turtles.
Oh, I think you're wrong on the solar power and Harry Reid and his son being alive.
No, that's the whole, even if all of that was true, that's still all crazy conspiracy theory. His neighbors took the BLM in '98 came in and said, we're changing the rules, we're changing the boundaries on this stuff. This has all been federal land all along, so they can decide this anytime they want. We're changing the rules and we're changing the boundaries, and here's some money. We will compensate you for this. And everybody else took the money and moved their cattle back. And this guy said, no, I'm not going to take your money. I'm going to keep grazing my cattle, and by the way, I'm not going to pay you anymore.
Well, this has become a real interesting conundrum here because when I see 82 Fed cars leaving the vicinity after they had pointed guns at American citizens who were there in protest.
You don't think those federal officers were American citizens?
Oh, I'm sure they were American
And they're representing, Donna, you and me.
Well, they may be representing you, but as far as I'm concerned, whenever the federal government has got something to do and they're pulling weapons on American citizens, they need to drop.
So you have no problem subsidizing Mr. Bundy's use of your land. You have no problem with him becoming a multimillionaire, fattening cattle on land that you pay your taxes for, that is owned by you in part, and not paying you the $1.50 per acre per year fee. You have no problem with him ripping you off.
I have a problem with that. Anytime someone, whether it's the government or an individual, is trying to fatten their wallet.
Well, that's what Bundy's been doing for 15 years, 20 years here. I don't understand why you're defending him.
Well, I'm not defending him. I'm appalled at the fact that the federal government was out there with drawn weapons and there wasn't a better
This is
way
after
to solve
3
it.
court cases,
And
3 different times that they have asked him to move the cattle. And finally, they organized, the federal government, at our expense, you and me, we paid for this. They hired a bunch of cowboys to go in and move his cattle off that land. And that's when he got a bunch of guys to show up with guns and threaten our representatives. And somehow that's okay?
It's an ugly mess, Tom, and guns are not going to settle it. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, well, I'll agree with you on that, Donna. Donna, thank you very much for the call. And thanks for watching there in Albuquerque. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
It's really fascinating how the whole Fox News spin has been able to drag Harry Reid and all this, solar and everything, turtles.